Hey, um, so I'm trying something new. Gonna do this. I might do it again. I don't know how this goes. Um, Movie review for a movie I saw last night. Warcraft. I'm gonna preface this by saying that going into this movie, I knew not much, very little about the uh, Warcraft. The I knew nothing about the lore, the mythology, the history of the world that these games created. I knew there were games. I knew there were computer games and then the World of Warcraft online game. I had a friend in elementary school who had one of the computer games. I couldn't tell you which one. Um, he had one of them. And I remember watching him going over to his house and attempting to play it, but I didn't get very far. I think I mostly just wound up sitting there and watching him play. Um, so yeah, so I knew it existed, but that was about it. That was the extent of my knowledge about this world, this legend, this thing going into this. Um, Despite that, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. Visually, it's stunning. The orcs, if you remember the trailers at all, this is 2 weeks after all the trailers and the hype. After the all the orcs look great. I mean, they look pretty intense. The motion capture, the face capture for that, it's all very well done, very good. They look like the orcs from the game, from what I do remember, what little I do remember from the game. They look like the orcs from the game, and that that's good. And actually, that was something I noticed in the trailers. Granted, I was looking at my brother. I don't know much about the world, but that looks like what I remember. Um, so so visually it was good. As far as that, the look of the characters and the world and everything, it was very good. The world itself looked very amazing. The magic that they used and some of the battle, the spells and whatnot, looked intense and amazing. It was very well done. The battles themselves were really good, really intense. Probably the movie's biggest flaw, and I'm not going to go into spoilers here. The biggest flaw is probably pacing. The movie runs about just 100 minutes, um, and there's a lot that they try to shove into that 100 minutes. I kind of hope that there's, and maybe even they put it out on DVD or on video, release it to DVDs, Blu-ray, whatever. That there's a director's cut that adds a good bit because the pacing it feels kind of choppy at places. And that, as such, a lot of the characters go fairly undeveloped. That's the movie's biggest flaw. Um, I don't think I could name most of the characters off the top of my head. That's more my poor memory skills than anything about the movie specifically. But the actors were all very good. They did for what little they had to work with as far as character and backstory. They mostly did a good job with it. You could tell they were thoroughly having a good time playing these parts. Um, Probably the only one that really didn't seem that way was Dominic Cooper, one of the few actors I actually recognized going in um, as the king, the human king. He his performance was very. It felt off. I don't know. I mean, I've seen him in things, and he's a very good actor. So I know he can do well in this. He just doesn't. I'm not sure if it's something he was trying to go for, if the director had a thought that about where he wanted it to go, or if it's based on, or maybe this is how the character actually is in the games. I don't know. Um, so that could just be something because I don't know anything about the history of the world. This is my first experience with all of these characters. That might be why it felt off, but he was very calm. I guess you could say he was calm and stoic, but even in points where you really wouldn't think someone would be calm and stoic, like in the middle of a battle, his voice never really got. He never really, he wasn't really shouting orders. He was kind of speaking like this, and like this throughout the entire battle. Maybe raising it a little so he could be heard over the din, but he never shouted that I could remember. he left his lieutenants to do that. Uh, but the characters I thought were very well done. Apart from that, and like I said, I don't really know what was up with that performance. I think that might have been. I'm sure there was a reason for it. I don't know what it was. That was the only one that felt off to me. Um, uh, Most of the characters, like I said, they weren't thoroughly developed. There could have been a lot more character development, and that would have probably helped the movie. Which is why I really hope there's a director's cut that does have some character development and some a little more world establishing. There is a lot that this movie dumps on you if you're not um, well initiated into the world of Warcraft. Um, you're gonna have a hard time following some things. Some things are gonna come out of nowhere and not make a whole lot of sense. So for it, it but it's still a thoroughly enjoyable movie. It's a good visual movie. It's fun to watch. It looks very good. The battles are good. The visual effects are good. I don't know if, and honestly, like the other thing that you should probably know going into it, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. This is 2 weeks after it premiered, and the showing I saw yesterday at 4:15 in the afternoon was the last showing at that particular theater. Some of the larger theaters might still have one or two showings, so you might be able to go catch one of them, but I wouldn't think so. I don't know. I know critically this movie wasn't doing very well, at least amongst the professional critics. So and I think it might have had an impact. The fans seem to love it though. Um, and definitely, and it leaves it open. The ending kind of leaves it open for a sequel, and I think that's definitely what they were going for. So if there is a sequel, if this movie managed to do well enough that they get a sequel, I'd go see it in a heartbeat. This was a very good movie. It didn't make me want to go out and buy the game or anything, but it definitely made me very interested in the story. If not the characters in the story. Um, so yeah, that's like I said. Overall, if I had to give it a rating, probably 7 or 8 out of 10. Mostly the visual experience and then the action and everything. Uh, Character development was not the best. There were a couple of characters that got developed, most of them not so much, but you could tell they were very well acted, and I could at least figure them out, some of their motivations anyway. Um, so yeah, that's about it. That's the extent of it. Um, so yeah,